Being a professional muso isn't just about playing the right chords or singing in tune. That's the bare minimum. The real test is whether you can walk into a pub, survive 3 or 4 sets and leave without the staff, locals and manager secretly plotting your demise. These aren't the rules you'll find in a contract or in some how-to gig handbook written by some guy who hasn't played since Nokia ringtones were a flex. These are the unspoken rules, the survival codes passed down through years of sticky carpets, bad lighting and punters who think shouting "smack my bitch up" is still peak comedy. Ignore them and you'll quickly learn why Friday nights suddenly get real quiet in your calendar. So let's dive into the 6 unspoken rules every pub muso needs to know. Rule number 1, don't test new material on a paid gig. A pub gig is not your rehearsal space, it's not your personal open mic, and it's definitely not the night to whip out that weird jazz chord progression you half learned on YouTube yesterday. You're being paid to deliver, not experiment. Trying out unpolished material at a gig is like showing up to a date with half a haircut. Now that doesn't mean you can't ever play new songs, but for the love of all things tuneful, practice them first. Know them cold. By the time they hit the pub set, they should feel bulletproof, because nothing makes punters head for the pokies quicker than a muso tanking halfway through a dud. There's a place for trial and error, it's called your lounge room. Or if you really must, an open mic where the stakes are low and half the audience are also musos doing the same thing. Because when you're in front of punters who've paid $12 a pint, they expect you to know what you're doing. Remember, a paid pub gig is a service. It's not about you expressing your artistic journey. It's about making the room feel good. If you want to test new material, wait until you can play it without staring at your hands like they're doing magic tricks. Rule number 2, respect the staff. Staff can make or break you. They're not just the people pouring beers. They're the eyes and ears of the venue. If you make their life easier, you'll get rebooked. If you make their life harder, you'll get binned quicker than last week's leftover palmy. Here's what respect looks like. Don't bark drink orders into the mic. Don't argue about whether your free drink card includes cocktails. And don't throw your cables across the bar like you're setting booby traps. Make their life easier, not harder. Smile, say thanks, and don't be the reason they trip carrying a birthday cake and Timmy blows out the candles with his cornea. Hey, it could happen. A simple cheers, mate, on your way out does more for your reputation than any fancy solo ever will. When they ask you to turn down, just turn down. You don't win arguments with bar managers. You only win shorter careers. Pubs rebook musos who are easy to work with, not the ones who think they're headlining Wembley. And then the phrase "never again" spreads through the bloody venues quicker than half-price wings. Rule number 3, respect the locals. Every pub has its locals, the human furniture, the bloke who hasn't missed a Sunday since the bloody Howard government, the couple slow dancing to every single song, and the bloke who's half asleep on his stool but somehow still shouts, "Too loud!" They might not be your ideal audience, but they're the backbone of the venue. You mock them and you'll instantly become that muso who thinks he's too good for us. Smile, nod, play along. Even if you don't cave to every request, just show some respect. Locals are like weather patterns. You can't change them, but you can prepare for them. If you fight them, you just look like an idiot shouting in the rain. But if you work with them, they'll back you. They'll cheer, they'll clap, and they'll tell the manager you're a good fit. Because here's the truth, you can't win an argument against a bloke whose bar tab is older than your career. Rule number 4, keep break music under control. Your set break isn't halftime at the Super Bowl. Nobody's waiting for a surprise light show and a guest rapper. All they want is background music that doesn't make them choke on their chips. Keep it consistent. If you've just played acoustic sing-alongs, don't slap on techno at 130 BPM. That's musical whiplash. Same if you're a rock act and you put on Enya. People don't know whether to order a beer or book a massage. What you want is background that fits your style and keeps the mood steady. Light, low volume in the same lane as your set. And for the love of gigs, don't let ads play. Nothing kills atmosphere like a Spotify ad for carpet cleaning services in the middle of your break. If you can't afford premium, make a playlist and download it. Rule number 5, read the energy before you start. All right? You don't need psychic powers to figure out a crowd, just open your eyes. The room tells you everything before you even plug in. Sometimes you don't even need to walk inside, just scan the car park. If it looks like a Bunnings commercial, ballads are going to die on impact. If it's full of mobility scooters, the only request is going to be, turn it down. Read the threads too. If half the punters are still in high vis, they don't want James Taylor deep cuts. They want anthems loud enough to drown out their worksite tinnitus. If you're staring at linen shirts and craft beer paddles, play it safe. This crowd thinks Wonderwall is edgy. Walking into a pub and blasting your loudest banger without checking the vibe is like walking into a library with a chainsaw. Sure, you'll get attention, just not the kind you want. Every gig is different, right? Some crowds need calming down, others need waking up. Professionalism isn't just playing well, it's adapting well. Reading the room is what separates working musos from hobbyists. Rule number 6, don't overstay your welcome. One of the fastest ways to go from legend to never booking them again, even if you nail the gig, is ignoring the clock. Sure, the crowd might still be cheering, but guess what? They don't pay the bills. Management does. And management cares about one thing at the end of the night. Getting staff out, getting the place clean, and getting the doors locked before sunrise. The crowd doesn't see that. They want one more song, then another. Before you know it, you're 3 encores deep and the staff are stacking chairs around you, mopping the dance floor, and setting up the wet floor sign in front of your mic like it's a bloody encore barricade. Play past your finish time and you're not a hero, you're holding up wages, cleaners. The poor old bartender has to polish glasses until you finally put your guitar down. In that moment with the crowd, you might think you're unstoppable, like no one has ever killed in this room like that before. But they have, and the bar staff still don't care. They're already counting the till. It's not about stamina, it's about timing. A slick ending makes you look like a professional, and a drawn-out one just makes you look more like a bloke clinging to the mic stand on karaoke night. Fun for the punters, a nightmare for the staff. So trust me, when it comes to booking you again, the crowd might forget, but the manager never does. So here's the survival code, right? Play to the clock, not the ego. If your time's up at 11, finish at 11. Don't expect an encore and call it at 10:52, because if you don't get one, you look like you're skimming time, right? End it as close to the hour as possible. If the crowd yells one more, then just give them a quick banger. I'm sure you'll be excused for going a couple of minutes over, but end it there. When people scream one more again, don't let your ego take over. Tell them that was one more. Thank them for their energy and power down. At the end of the day, you're not curing cancer, right? Play your set and let people mop up. Finish on time, finish strong, and walk out with the crowd wanting more. And the management happy to be out of there and grab a kebab before Baba Ganoush and run closes. That's how pros do it. So that's the deal. Nothing complicated, just the kind of basics that separate the pros from the punters. Follow these survival codes and you'll keep the crowd happy, the manager happier, and most importantly, you'll get booked again. Ignore them and you'll be remembered as the bloke who played too long, too loud, and in the wrong order. We'll see you in the next one.